What I really don't want to do when we're talking about how to understand the Bible is the idea that we can extract from a text the kind of kernel of the passage. This is the key concept. And having done that, I can now leave the passage on one side, as if the Bible is something to be kind of decoded and I can boil it down to something less. So to say, can you summarize the main point of this passage? That's quite a useful thing to do. But if you think that your summary now means that you don't need the passage anymore, then that's really a mistake. Because so one of my friends once put it this way, that it's not like you're trying to extract the kernel from the husk. It's all kernel. Like the Bible is only kernel. There's nothing wasted or and the Bible is, that also means that the Bible is interested in not just the concept that it tells us or the truth it tells us, but how it tells us it. And we need both. So someone said the Bible is, we understand the Bible if we understand what the inspired author said, why he said it, and how he said it. And we need all of those things. We don't just want to know what he said. We want to say what he said in the way that he said it for the purpose for which he said it. It's much easier if I give you an example. So I'll give you a couple and it just becomes comically clear when we look at it. So here, for example, is Ezekiel chapter 7, which is a very frightening passage. And it goes like this. The word of the Lord came to me, Son of man, this is what the sovereign Lord says to the land of Israel. The end has come upon the four corners of the land. The end is now upon you. I will unleash my anger against you. I will judge you according to your conduct. I will repay you for your detestable practices. I will not look upon you with pity. I will not spare you. I will repay you for your conduct, for the detestable practices among you. Then you will know that I am the Lord. This is what the sovereign Lord says. Disaster, unheard of disaster. See, it comes. The end has come. The end has come. It has roused itself against you. It comes. Doom has come upon you, upon those who dwell on the land. The time has come. The day is near. There's panic, not joy in the mountains. I'm about to pour out my wrath on you, spend my anger against you. I will judge you according to your conduct. I will repay you for your detestable practices. I will not look on you with pity. I will not spare you. I will repay you for your conduct, for your detestable practices among you. Then you will know that it is I, the Lord, who strikes you. See the day, see it comes, and so on and so on. Now, I mean, it's a frightening passage, right? I could summarize it as Judgment Day is coming, full stop. And that's pretty much all it says. I mean, theologically, that's most of its content. Or you could say, God is about to come to punish you, right? But God is about to come to punish you is frightening, but it's not as frightening as reading chapter 7 of Ezekiel, right? So the point is, this is the truth, but it's the truth with the force of the words that the Holy Spirit has chosen to use to bring them home. I'll give you another example. This is from Mark's Gospel. It's not just true of frightening passages, it's true of happy passages and very moving passages. I think this is quite moving. Where should we go? There's lots of bits of Mark I want to use for this, but I'm going to use Mark chapter 9, verse 14. When they came to the other disciples, they saw a large crowd around them, the teachers of the law arguing with them. As soon as all the people saw Jesus, they were overwhelmed with wonder and ran to greet him. What are you arguing with them about? He asked. A man in the crowd answered, Teacher, I brought you my son, who's possessed by a spirit that has robbed him of speech. Whenever it seizes him, it throws him to the ground. He foams at the mouth, gnashes his teeth, and becomes rigid. I asked your disciples to drive out the spirit, but they could not. You unbelieving generation, Jesus replied, how long shall I stay with you? How long shall I put up with you? Bring the boy to me. So they brought him. When the spirit saw Jesus, it immediately threw the boy into a convulsion. He fell to the ground and rolled around, foaming at the mouth. Jesus asked the boy's father, how long has he been like this? From childhood, he answered. It's often thrown him into fire or water to kill him. But if you can do anything, take pity on us and help us. If you can, said Jesus, everything is possible for one who believes. Immediately the boy's father exclaimed, "I do believe. Help me overcome my unbelief." When Jesus saw that a crowd was running to the scene, he rebuked the impure spirit. "You deaf and mute spirit," he said, "I command you, come out of him and never enter him again." The spirit shrieked, convulsed him violently, and come out. The boy looked so much like a corpse that many said, "He's dead." But Jesus took him by the hand and lifted him to his feet, and he stood up. After Jesus had gone indoors, his disciples asked him privately, "Why couldn't we drive it out?" He replied, "This kind can come out only by prayer." And I mean, you could sort of summarize it and say, well, Jesus met a demon-possessed boy, and it was a bit worse than other possession. The disciples failed, but Jesus did it. Okay, that would be a summary, but you'd have lost so much of the power of the story and how really terrifying it is. I mean, here's a boy possessed by a spirit that wants to kill him. Jesus interviews him. How long has he been like this? Oh, well, since he was a child. Whenever we saw fire or water, the spirit would throw him into it. I mean, can you even imagine? So you go to a holiday on the beach and your child starts running headlong for the sea because the spirit wants to drown him. Or you go to a campfire and your boy starts running towards the fire because the spirit wants to burn him. I mean, it's a terrifying thing, and you see how awful, destructive evil is. Evil leads to death. And then as Jesus exorcises the boy, he looks like a corpse, and they wonder whether he is dead. And then Jesus raises him from the dead. Now, what I want to say is, it's not just a sort of generally told story. It's a very carefully told story, told in a particular way. And the way it's told brings out the horror of it for these parents. And it brings out the wonder of Jesus' solution. And it kind of doesn't just say evil is bad. It shows us that evil is bad in the detail.